YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back, heading into the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and we got bold predictions for this round right here, right now, sent in by you guys through our Twitter. A lot of you participating, appreciate you very much. A lot of bold predictions sent in. I picked out ones that stand out to me. We actually had a lot for the Rams-Packers game that I thought were very interesting, so we're going to start with those here. But yeah, if you want to play along with these types of videos, you want to get more involved in the channel, if you want updates, whether it's on the channel, in the NFL with breaking news, my thoughts, takeaways, a lot of polls keeping you guys involved, you're going to want to follow that Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, I'd make one. At Goathouse NFL, link in the description and comments. For that and anything else on the screen that you need, including that sided app you see underneath me, you pretty much talk football, debate football, under polls, and you can win Amazon gift cards. It's pretty cool. 10 people win Amazon gift cards every single week. So check that out. Please subscribe. Full NFL coverage. We're already starting to get in some offseason coverage at the same time of the playoff coverage. So check us out and smash that like button, subscribe. Be much appreciated. To the bold predictions that I'll react to. First one comes from Diggs, sideline, touchdown, unbelievable Vikings win. But not this year. They didn't win too much, unfortunately. But Ramsey shuts Devontae Adams down, and Donald disrupts the run game, and Packers struggle to get offense going. There's a lot of parts, a lot of pieces of this take. I usually don't use those, but it's a lot of interesting points here. First off, let's eliminate Aaron Donald's going to disrupt the run game. He's not going to – I'm not sitting here and debating if he's going to completely shut it down or not. He's going to disrupt it, all right? So let's take that out of the way. Packers could struggle to get some offense going. I mean, they're playing the best defense in football. They haven't seen it yet, but the Packers might be the best offense in football, so they could struggle. I mean, the main talking point, the most interesting thing about this game, Ramsey versus Devontae Adams. Will Ramsey shut him down, take that away, make the other receivers that are kind of average receivers, maybe that's generous, win the game, really, Rodgers and those guys, and they can do that, but that's kind of the question for this game. That's what makes this game pretty damn interesting, besides the point that it's great offense versus great defense. Here's the thing. I've been talking about during the week that Ramsey might not cover Devontae Adams everywhere he goes, because Adams dominates quite a bit from the slot. He plays in the slot, plays outside, dominates from either one, but he can dominate from the slot. And it's kind of a mystery. It's kind of up in the air. I could be wrong on this, but I don't know if I really see Ramsey following him to the slot, and that will be a good thing for Adams. Not that I think Ramsey would completely shut him down anyways, but Ramsey's the best corner in football. Adams the best receiver in football this year. Ramsey's been shutting down some top-tier receivers all year, all season, all career maybe. So it's definitely possible. But at the same time, the Rams do got some pretty good corners that can play in the slot as well. You see Troy Hill play there. They have Darius Williams as well. This is a tough one because Ramsey shuts down. I think Adams could kind of be shut down somewhat, slowed up. But I don't think it would actually be because of Ramsey, just because I think other guys would play in the slot. So putting all this together, I think it's pretty hot. I'm not going to say piping because, I expect Donald to disrupt the run game for sure. Is he going to completely eliminate it? Probably not, but that's not what it says. The Packers offense could struggle. They haven't seen this defense. They could struggle and still win the game. Struggling for them is like 20 or whatever points. And I could see, it's usually those stat watchers that, just don't really watch the game. They don't really understand. They may say, if they look at the stats at the end of the game, they could see Devontae Adams had, 60 yards for less, something way less than what he gets normally, 40 yards, whatever it may be. And they're like, wow, Jalen Ramsey shut down Adams. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. It might be a collection of the secondary because we don't know if we're going to see Ramsey in the slot or not. So I don't think it'll be Ramsey completely shut down Adams. But it's stuff that could happen, but I think it's hot. It's an interesting one. From Mr. The Rams D-line gets no sacks against Aaron Rodgers. The Packers offensive line tends to keep Rodgers pretty clean. This happens, several times in a year, especially this year. And Rodgers is very good at, better than anybody, getting the ball out very fast when he needs to. Very good at escaping pressure, avoiding it, I suppose. So it's possible. Remember, Bakhtiari's out, maybe the best tackle in football. This is the second game since he's been out for season. But, I mean, the Packers did do a pretty good job against the Bears pass rush, but the Rams got that best defensive football. They get pressure from inside with Aaron Donald, Brockers, whatever, Leonard Floyd from the edge. They blitz quite a bit as well. They get coverage sacks with Bakhtiari being out. Yeah, I'd say this is even with Bakhtiari out, I still view the Packers offensive line, but you kind of got to throw Aaron Rodgers in that mix too. That just the Packers group there in general, maybe being the best and not allowing pressure. But there's sometimes this year where it happened and it affected them. So it's still possible. I'm gonna say hot. The Rams D line's probably gonna get a sack. They're probably gonna get a sack. Well, I guess you said D line, so I guess the linebackers blitzing, does that not count? So I guess that brings up a whole different topic. But we're moving on. Parker Shoemaker. Rams put in Blake Bortles because Goff and his thumb can't hold up in the cold. Oh, yeah, Goff's a Cali boy there. He went to California for college, and then he's playing for the Rams, obviously. So will the cold affect him? That's a big question. People doubt him in that area. And then he's got the thumb injury. The worst thing about the cold is your fingers. It's if anybody's played, it is literally the worst thing. Like once you get going, like your body actually feels okay. It's your fingers, and he's got a messed up thumb. Just had surgery on it a couple weeks ago. No Walford, so Bortles could be the guy. So I could see Goff struggling because of this. It's really not ideal. I know it's obvious, but it's really not ideal for them to. They just picked up Blake Bortles. I know he's familiar with the offense, but it's going to take a lot, I think, for them to put Bortles in. Yeah, I was about to go hot because, again, it's realistic. The cold could really affect somebody with a broken thumb that just had surgery. So I wasn't going to go piping, but I think it's going to take a whole bunch for them to put. If it was Walford, if Walford was healthy and he was the second string guy, I would think it's pretty realistic actually. But because Bortles, it's really not ideal. So it's going to take a lot. It's going to take more than Goff going, my thumb hurts. Or just really struggling, I think. So we'll see. It's definitely interesting to think about, though. Goff with that thumb. I mean, is Lambeau going to be the coldest? I think Buffalo. Is Buffalo a later game? It's supposed to snow. Buffalo might be the coldest game this weekend. But I'm thinking Lambeau, Arrowhead for the Chiefs. That could be up there. But, yeah, I'm thinking Buffalo and Green Bay. I think got to be the coldest. So that's – I said it, when the schedule came out, it is a big win that the Rams don't have to play a late night game in Lambeau. That is a major win for them. Maybe a loss for the Packers. I'm not meaning they're going to lose because of that, but I mean, you'd rather have it, and they would rather have it the way it is. The Rams, that is. Billy Bone, I don't know how to say your last name. I'm not going to butcher it. Apologize. Goff outplays Rodgers, but the Rams still lose. This has got to be piping. Let's just say Goff does play Rodgers. If Goff outplays Rodgers and they lose, the whole world, people that don't even know football, they're going to be confused. They don't even know who these guys are, but they're going to feel it. If Goff outplays Rodgers, the Rams are winning the game. Like I just don't see. Unless they both just completely suck, like they're just both really bad, and it just depends on which defense made the most of turnovers. I don't know. If Goff outplays, first of all, Goff has to outplay Rodgers, so a lot has to happen here on top of that. It's pretty piping. Interesting to think about though. Any given Sunday, this game's on a Saturday though, so maybe it doesn't apply. Goff could outplay Rodgers. I don't think it's going to happen, but he could do it. But again, I just think if he does with that defense with him, yeah, the Rams if Goff outplays, the Rams are winning. There's no other way around it. We'll see what happens. Ray says Breeze and Brady both combined for 5 touchdowns in 4 total turnovers. So yeah, that would really make it a true history game. They were talking about the History Channel game. 4 total turnovers, 5 touchdowns, definitely doable. I mean, definitely gonna, it should happen. 3 and 2 easily. 4, but with 4 turnovers. I mean, that's a lot of plays would have to occur, which is possible. But the numbers themselves feel realistic. Yeah, 5 touchdowns, 4 turnovers on Brady. Would Brady turn the ball over 3 times last time? Breeze he's had a lot of deflected balls, I feel like. And he has the capabilities at his age, where he's at right now, of turning the ball over. I mean, same with Brady. the numbers themselves look pretty damn realistic. Like, 5 touchdowns combining them, 4 turnovers. That like feels realistic, but putting them together, that's a lot of plays. That is a lot of plays, to have. Maybe not though. That's a tough one. We'll call it warm. I'm not going to call it realistic. Warm's kind of feeling a little realistic though. That's where I'm feeling with that one. Yeah, is Brady going to turn the ball over a million times like he did last time? What's the question? What's the mystery with that game? Is there going to be that many turnovers? I just can't wait for it. That's all I know. Raider Nation, Browns dominate the time possession, but the Chiefs win. So that's the Browns game. Everyone knows it by now. That's the Browns game. They're going to pound the football because they got really good offensive line. They got really good running backs. They're going to pound the football, wear the defense out, win the time of possession, just dominate the clock. What that also does is, it gives the obvious point. It gives the other offense less chances, less time to score, obviously. It also kind of sometimes doesn't allow them to get on their groove because some teams are sitting on the bench forever to start the game, and sometimes you need to run some plays or get a series under your belt to kind of get in your groove. So that's their game, and that opens up the play action pass where Baker thrives. So that is their game there. It's crazy because when you dominate time possession, it works. It does wonders. I think, fun fact, I'm wearing my Vikings shirt just for this. I think there was only 2 teams that, dominated time possession, meaning I think the stat was 39 minutes of time possession, and more. Only 2 teams, 2 times this year, a team did that. They dominated and lost, and it was the Vikings both times. So, classic Vikings. They dominate time possession twice and lose, and they're the only team to do that. Pretty tough to do. Only the Vikings could do. The Browns probably could pull it off. Browns, they probably can pull it off there in a bad way. I think this is more of the Chiefs, though. You're playing the Chiefs in the time while doing the time. I think this is pretty realistic. I think because the Chiefs. Sometimes it's like a good thing that it's not a good thing that you didn't have. It's hard to explain. It's not a great thing that you had very little time of possession. But, looking at it, the way they score sometimes, it looks like a college team. They'll score, it looks like Alabama. It's like one big play to score, and it sucks for the time of possession, but we scored that easy. Overall, it's a great thing. So the Browns could march down the field, dominate the clock, but the Chiefs air out passing in with their speed, which is a Browns' weakness, could just score just like that, and they don't really need the time of possession to win the game. So I think this is pretty realistic, actually, that this could happen. Yeah, it's just because the Browns are a dominant time of possession team. The Chiefs are a dominant team against those teams that want to do that. So it's a pretty interesting matchup, really. We'll see. Next, we got from Jay Shelley. Old Yeller will get all of his picks right. Pretty interesting one. So Old Yeller on the picks video picked the Packers. He picked the Bills. He picked the Chiefs, and he picked the Bucks. So all 4 of those to be right. They're all favorites. They're all favorites minus the Bucks. I think that's pretty realistic. You can get that. I think the one that he doesn't, the one underdog he has is probably the game that can go either way. Who knows? So I think it's pretty realistic that he can get all 4. We'll see. We will see. Divisional McDerm. Lamar Jackson will be held to under 30 rushing yards against the Buffalo Bills. I think you've lost it a bit there. Watch it happen now. I think that's pretty piping. Yeah, 30 yards. It takes one run to get 30 yards. Look at the Titans game. They were, for most of the first half, pretty much all of it for the most part, they were stopping him he wasn't getting much of anything. It's like, okay, the Titans are legit defense against this type of offense, and Lamar Jackson offense. They've proven that, and it still ended up being kind of, but then it took one run, just one run towards the end of the half for him just to break loose on a giant run that was more than 30 yards and change everything. So, and he had another giant one at the end to kind of seal the deal as well. Yeah, it's because it just takes one. And I think he can get it, kind of just even if he doesn't have that giant run, which he probably will, I still think he would get it over time. So, yeah, he's getting more than 30 yards. It'd be wild if he didn't there. Moving on, Brady Draft Mac Attack. The away team wins every game. So the away teams are the Rams, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Buccaneers. Rams could win because of their defense. Ravens could win. Maybe Lamar Jackson rushing attack could be too much for and their defense is improving for the Bills. Maybe. Browns beat the Chiefs. Maybe they dominate the time possession, win that game. Bucks can beat the Saints. Any of those could happen, but all of them at the same time. All of them at the same time, I don't know. Bob. I'm gonna say piping because all of them at the same time is pretty tough. Maybe I could go hot with that one, but we're gonna go piping. Sticky Ninja 69, I'll try it again. Yeah, you had one last week. No away team will win this week. So all the home teams win. So Packers, Bills, Chiefs, and Saints. I think this is a little more realistic, but I think an away team's still bound to win. I picked all the home teams, though. So I'm kind of going against myself there, but I'm really not that confident, to be honest. Yeah, so I said it last week. How many times I said? I probably said in this video. We all have our teams we expect to win, but something's about to be wild. At least one game is about to be crazy, and it was the Browns game, really. The Rams ended up winning, but that wasn't that surprising because Goff ended up coming in. That defense is ridiculous. We knew that. Yeah, so I think, again, something crazy is about to happen, unexpected. I think we should I don't know. I think if the Browns beat the Chiefs, maybe that would surprise a lot of people, but all of them probably could end up surprising people, but they really shouldn't. They really shouldn't. We're at the top tier teams here, so we'll see. Next, Ryan Pollock. Every game is an ass beating. No game's outcome is within 2 scores. It would kind of suck, because that would mean like no game. Except for those fan bases that team did the ass beating them. Those fans, that would be great for them. But I think it would be kind of just as a football fan, I think you want every game to be entertaining, kind of like last week's game for the most part. But it would suck during the games. But it'd be so great, like, after, when we have the schedule ready for next week, because, like, all these teams just put on ass-beating performances, and they're about to play each other. I think it would be so hyped for the AFC and NFC Championship game. So bad and good if that happened. Every game, I could actually see this, though. It's not going to happen, but I can see it. I'm still going to say it's piping. I think, again, probably multiple games are bound to be close. The Chiefs are favored by 10. Chiefs are supposed to be the best team in football. So, if you had to pick one that's for sure, if you had to say one that's going to be an ass beating, maybe that one. But, the Saints have beat the Bucs ass a couple times this year, especially the last time. So there's 2 that could definitely be an ass beating. But between the other 2, the Packers are a better team, better contender. They're better for this moment. So they could because of that. But it's a weird matchup. I think we could see 3 be an ass beating. It's just going to be tough for us to see all 4. And from Carter, there's an ass beating in one of the games. I think it's happening. I think we're bound to see an ass beating. I think one of them's got to give us an ass beating. So we're going to say it's happening. Who's it going to be? Was there an ass beating? It kind of felt like the Browns beat the Steelers' ass, even though the Steelers came back. Kind of felt like this. The Bears stuck around with the Saints for the whole first half, but it felt like they weren't really a match for the Saints. There's going to be an ass beating. It's going to happen. I know people expect, and it would be the one to pick, but people expect the Chiefs or the Browns. But the Browns come out, getting the ball first in that game is huge. I can't wait for the coin toss that game. They better air it. They better air the coin toss, or else what? I don't know. But the Browns win that coin toss. If they win that coin toss and shows the kick, it's over. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but if they won that coin toss, took the ball, ran a bunch of clock, pounded the football, scored. This game might end up being pretty close. So just like that, it's not an ass beating anymore, and the Chiefs might not even win. Just like that, So that's all it needs to happen. You're not asking too much there, are you? I don't think so. So we will see, but that's going to wrap it up for the bold predictions for the divisional round. We'll be back next week, and we have you covered for the playoffs with all kinds of different videos. We're getting into our draft and free agency videos here and there, but they're really going to start to come out the next couple weeks here. The free agency videos are and the draft videos are usually one of our actually our most popular videos. So I'm excited about those, doing some videos that we do every single year around this time. So hopefully you join us for all that. Subscribe, turn notifications on, smash that like button. Be much appreciated. You got to check out that Twitter. It's a must follow. Make one if you don't have one. I promise you won't regret it. But that is going to do it. Thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye.